Hi guys, recently I created a video where I automated a lo-fi YouTube channel, and what we were doing is we had this workflow and it executes it and creates lo-fi videos for the lo-fi YouTube channel. And in our last video we looked at the whole workflow, and these are the videos it was uploading to YouTube. So this is my old YouTube channel, and you can see these two videos are lo-fi music videos, and they were uploaded in our last video. And you can see this one is 1 hour long and this one is 6 minutes. So in that previous video I showed you the whole workflow and how you can do that, but I promised to create another video where I would go through the whole workflow in depth, and this is the video that I want to go through the workflow with you in more depth. So stay there. It's going to be a 10 to 12 minutes video, so it shouldn't be long, but you get all the benefits that you can get from a video like this. So feel free to subscribe, but otherwise let's get started. So the first node that we're going to look at is the trigger node. In this case, we are using a schedule trigger. So in my case, I've set this to run every hour, twice a day, which is every 12 hours, and it will run exactly at that hour. You can also select here to use seconds, minutes, months. You can also have a custom time, so you can set a specific date or a specific time schedule. So that's about the trigger node. The next node that we're going to look at is the Google Sheets node. So with this node, all we're doing is getting data from Google Sheets and then using this filter to only get data that has a status of equal to lady, and we're saying we should only return one matching row. And this is the Google Sheets. It has the video title, the description, it has the raw data URLs, but then the focus here is the status. So we are taking anything that has a status of ready. So that's about this. In this case, you can see it has only returned one here. The next node is our if node. So for the if node, what we're doing is here we're just checking, does this record have an ID? If it already has an ID, then we are going through this path. If it doesn't have an ID, then we are going this side to create an ID. So our next node is the edit field node. But before we do that, let's run this. You can see it has executed. It has gone this direction. That means there is no ID. Now, inside here, what we're doing is we are getting the date now and adding it to a random number. And that will form the ID that we're going to use in the next step. As you can see, this is the ID. Our next node is the Google Sheets node. In this case, we are using the operation update row. And with this comes the column to match on. In this case, you get all the columns that you have in your Google Sheets. But because we don't have an ID yet, what we're using is the row number. And it is also provided here automatically. So we're going to select the row number and supply the row number that we have for that record. And then what we want to update is the ID. We're going to give it the ID that we generated in the previous step. We now want to focus on this get video node. But before we do that, let's first of all execute this node. And after executing that node, we can go to the get video node. In this case, what we're doing is we want to get a video in Google Drive by providing this URL. In my previous video, I show you how I created this Google Drive directory, and that's where I'm storing my videos. Now I'm just copying the link there and storing it in my Google Sheets. So we have a raw video here, and that is the same for the audio and the ambient audio as well. So we're going to execute this, and you can see that we have an audio right here. And for our next node, what we're doing is lighting the video that we got from Google Drive to disk. And this will light my video in my server disk space. Now we're going to do the same for the audio and the ambient. Getting audio, writing to disk, getting ambient, and writing it to disk. And next we have the merge node. And the merge node gets data from multiple input streams. In this case, we're getting data from these three multiple input streams. And we're using append. That means if we run this, it will append the data of each and every node on top of each other. So that is very important. So here we have two important nodes together. The merge node is taking data from multiple input streams. But then here you can see the output is still 3 items. That could mean the output is in a list format. But then we use the aggregate node to get input from multiple items. In this case, we have 3 items and put them into a single item. So if you see this, we are saying we want to get all item data into a single list. All right. And then here we have the data, the output field that we want. And in this case, we want all our data to be in this data field. And what should we include? In this case, we have selected all the fields. You can also specify the fields you want. You can say add these fields except this field. But once we learn this, you can see that now we have one item. So we had 3 items in the first place. Now we have one item. So with our next node, we are starting to see the use of FFmpeg. And when I try to highlight this, you can see that here we're getting the two audio files, the main MP3 and the ambient sound. The reason for the ambient sound is for it to be used when we are transitioning from one audio sound to another, or when we are looping the sound. So when you add the ambient sound, the transition is as smooth as possible. So what we're saying here is we are letting the first audio to be at 100% volume and the second audio to be at 20% volume. So it's not heard that much, but it is still in the background sort of. And we are setting the time here to 360 seconds, which is close to 6 minutes. If we make these 3600, then that is an hour. So that will depend on how long you want your audio to be, but this will loop and stitch the audios together until it gets to an hour or the time I've specified. And finally, it is going to save this to disk as an M4A. So we are going to another node. But then before we do that, I wanted to also point out that when you learn the get ambient node or any node to do with FFmpeg, the file gets written to disk and you are not going to expect any tangible output here or the file. I just know that that file is written to disk using the name that you specified. So let's move on to the building the file in a video. In here, there are a number of important points. First of all, let's start with the -y. So the -y says that if you find that you have, for example, an MP4 with the same name as our final output, then just replace it. Don't ask us any questions. Because if you let it ask you any questions, then you might just see that it is loading while in the background is asking you for input. So what you're saying is just continue what you're doing. Don't ask us. Just replace anything if you find that it is already existing. And then minus no standard input. What you're saying is do not just disable the standard input. So don't allow us to input anything, or don't allow us to input anything as in the terminal. So, and then the minus stats just give you the statistics while this is learning. Another important thing is the minus stream loop. What we're saying is we have this music and we have this MP4, which could be 2 minutes, and we have this music. In this case, it is close to an hour. I think it's close to 6 minutes, but we can change it to an hour. So we're saying as long as this music is playing, then just loop this MP4. So an MP4 that was 2 minutes is going to loop itself up to 6 minutes just because of the stream loop. And then another important thing is we are saying, okay, we want to loop this to 360 seconds, which is 6 minutes. So it's going to take this, which is already 6 minutes. It's not going to loop it again, but it is going to take this now and loop it until it fits the time of 6 minutes. And then the copy here, what we're saying is just stitch everything together. So this is not going to do any further transcoding. It is just going to stitch everything together until you reach the 6 minutes time limit. Like I said, you can set this to an hour, 2 hours, it doesn't matter. You can just specify the time and it will do this for you. Now we're going to look at the read/write files from disk. And this node, we've used this before, and in the first time we used it to write files to disk. In this case, we want to use it to get the files from disk. So if you remember, in the previous node, we've created the final video. Now we've stored that video on disk, and then we want to use the read and write files to disk to get that file from disk. So in this case, we are setting this to read files instead of write files. So it's going to be read files. And if we execute this, it is going to give us the file, which is 6 minutes long. And this is the file. And you can see the timestamp is 6 minutes just because we specified 6 minutes. After getting the file from disk, what we want to do now is to store this file in Google Drive. So what we've done is we've connected to Google Drive, and then we've specified the location where we want this file to be stored. In my case, is in my drive, and then inside it I have a directory called production files. That's exactly where I want to store this. And a few things you want to know. When you do this, when it stores in Drive, it gives you a few things. It gives you the ID, and this is the file ID. It gives you the URL that you can use to view the same video in the browser or to access the file in the browser. Another URL that you can use to download the file. So all this data is given to you. What would be the most important in our case is the file ID as well as the drive links. So the final node is also very important. It's the same Google Sheets node. In this case, it also has an operation of update row. So we are updating the same row that we've been using. And then what we're saying here, we are using now the ID instead of the uh, row number. So we are using our ID that we created here. And then another thing that is very important is we are updating the final video URL. Since now we've been given that final video URL, we are updating here. And then another important thing is we are adding the final video ID. So this ID is very important when we are using the same Google Drive node to fetch videos or files from Google Drive. So that's all we're doing. And another important thing is we are changing the status. We're changing the status to finalized, just to mean that you finalized the video processing and it's ready for upload. All right, guys. So that's all about it in as far as the video production is concerned. So now you know that we have the final video and we want to upload that to YouTube. And the upload to YouTube is very simple because we are getting now to the file, but now we are focusing on the file with the status of finalized because we know that has been finalized and it's ready for upload. And here we are getting the file from Google Drive. And after we've gotten that file from Google Drive by specifying the file ID here, which is the result of the previous node, and we are uploading this now to YouTube. And after we've done that, we are also going to in our Google Sheets again and change the status to uploaded. And that will mean the final cycle has finished, or the final workflow has finished. So this is all I had for you in this video. I'm going to share this. I'm going to provide I'm going to provide a link to this workflow in the description below. So be sure to check that. Feel free to subscribe because I will be doing these kind of automations um, more frequently these days. So until next time, have a great time.